Hello everyone, welcome back. If you are an absolute beginner and wanted to know how exactly the partition works inside the BigQuery in most simplest way, then this video is definitely for you all. So here I am going to explain what or how actually the partition works inside the BigQuery with a hands-on demonstration so that you can quickly boost your confidence. Right, so before jumping into the hands-on part, let us quickly discuss or let us quickly see what partition is all about. Let's assume that you have a huge table. Say the name of the table is orders. You can give any name, just for example I'm telling, and the same table has got say around 1 lakh records, and on top of that, if I execute a simple statement, say select first name, last name from orders where date is equal to some date. Now if the table is not partitioned, then by default the BigQuery will scan all the records, and this is not at all we needed, because we know that the more data the BigQuery scans, the more we have to pay. Right, so how you are going to overcome this kind of problems? So this will be overcome by applying the partition concept in BigQuery. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to get one table and I am going to apply the partition on that table. So the partition can be applied with respect to a single column, and the column type must be either date, or it could be the integer range, or it could be the ingestion time. So this is the interview question. It means we can partition an existing table based on or by selecting one particular column. So how we are going to do that? Definitely I have explained it very in the most simplest way through this video. Right, so in this video I have partitioned the table by using date column, and rest two types I want you to practice it, and I'm 100% sure that if you go and watch the video till and you yourself will definitely give a try, and you will explore how the partition works for the integer range as well as the ingestion time also. Right, so without wasting any time, let's move on to this video and see how we are going to begin with. First thing is I will create a normal table, okay, from a CSV like we have seen it before. So this is my normal table, and here I have some CSV file from my local computer. Okay, on this normal table I will create a new table called normal table underscore partition or any name you give, and here this table is the partition table by date. Now we will see the difference between this table and this table, and now you will come to know that how much scanning cost we can avoid by using the partition table. All right, perfect. So let's go to the BigQuery and start this process. Step number one is bring the data to BigQuery from my local. So let's do that very quickly, guys. So is that here? Okay, perfect. Let me go to BigQuery, right click, open it a new tab. All right, so now I am on to BigQuery overview page. Let me go to my project, and we have already created the data set. So in this data set, let's click on these three dots and click on create the table. So please refer to my previous video where I have started from the basic steps, like how to create the data set, how to create the tables, and how to bring the data and so on. So the source would be upload, and I will go to browse, upload from my local, and now the file, I mean the data what I am going to refer is the file name is superstore underscore partition. Okay, just the file name, nothing much. Now this is my destination, and I will give it the name as superstore underscore Okay, just the superstore data, that's it. Okay, so don't confuse with the word partition. This is the raw or the normal table which is not partitioned yet. I have just, for safekeeping, I have just given the name as partition, but this is not partitioned yet. Okay, just click on auto detect schema, right, and then create the table. So once we create the table, the step number 1 is done. Next is absolutely important, guys. Right, so we can see here that a table has been brought into my BigQuery system, and if I can see that the details preview, how many rows are there, we have around nearly 10,000 rows. And if you can see the schema, these are the the column names, these are the details. Okay, perfect. Now one more important stuff, we got this right. Now I am using this table and converting this table to a partition table. Like I said, let me just erase this. I have a normal table which is unpartitioned, right? With this table, I will create one more table that is partitioned. The data remains the same. So right now I have, after this, I have two tables. This is unpartitioned and this is partition. First do that, guys. Yeah. All right. All right. So let's see how we can create a partition table out of the unpartitioned table. Syntax is very simple, right? Now we have a syntax called create a table. Let me see if I can increase the font. Yes, create a table, and we should give a new table name here. Okay, a new table name. This is important. Partition by column name. Which column I need to partition with? Usually the date is the option, means usually we used to partition the table by date, so that is used in most of the time, right? As select star from old table, I can just write so that you can easily correlate. So new table, table name, old table, means what happens is the BigQuery will use the complete old table, and this will partition by column name, right? Please refer to the partition video where I have given all the concepts in that. Please, it's definitely a very helpful, right? I can also provide the link in the description. Please go through that first, guys. Yeah, and then this table will be created. So now let's see how we can do that in BigQuery. I'm here. Let's go and add a new query. Again, it's annoying. Let me just increase the font size so that you can see it better, right? So I can write create table. This would be my new table name, right? Backtick. I can write that, sorry. Okay, so inside sales department, I have these many table, superstore data. This is existing table, right? I will just create a new one called partitioned. Okay, so we are here. Next I have to write partition by, right? Spelling is correct. PA, then yes, it's here. Partition by what? Partition by, let's go to the existing table, and I want to partition this by order date. Okay, and make sure that, okay, order date, and very important point here is make sure that, okay, this in this schema, the type of the column should be always in a date. It should not be in a string. Please note this down. The type on which we are going to apply partition should always be a date, right? Let's go here, and I want to partition by order date, right? As select star from, hit control space, it is sales department underscore control space, it will load something. Yeah, it loaded superstore data. Now you can see, yes, this is right one because we have seen the green tick bar. Now you see that from this unpartitioned table I am creating a new partition table, that's it. And this table is partitioned based on order date of the old table. I think this is clear now. Now if I run this query, right, so this, you can see the job is being executed here. Elapsed time, yep, now a new table has been created, guys. So now if I go here, show more, yep, see that you can see a different icon here. Can you see that here, the partition icon? See, you can see that some different, see, these three tables are same and this is partition one, right? Gotcha. So this is how the partition table is created. See, both the data remains the same, but this is partition one and this is the regular one. Now we'll execute one query so that you will understand how partition query is absolutely important. Let me close this. Let me close this as well. Cancel. Right, close. Yeah. So now if I open this, okay, and see, this is a partition table they have given, right? So if I go here, if I go to details, then table type is partitioned. Now if I open this, you can see the table type is, they have not mentioned because this is a default table. Okay, so just they have mentioned the storage info. That's not important now. Let's execute one query, right? I will explain you the query, so I just kept it for this one. So now, okay, so let me just expand this. Okay. Cloud track sales superstore data partition not found. Maybe I have gone something that superstore underscore data. Oh yeah, this is in lowercase, guys. Yeah. Okay. Now let's go back here where yes, order date between this date. Now you will see this is what partition table, right? Now you will see partition table. This is partition table. Now if I just write that what you are seeing here, this query will process how many bytes of data? Just 2.9, almost 3 KB of data when you run. I hope you are with me. Okay, this is partition table, and when I run this I can see, okay, this query will process almost 3 KB of data when we run this. And always the pricing of the BigQuery depends on how much data the query is processing, in a very simple way, right? I hope you have gone through this before, right? Now what I will do, just collapse this right here and copy the same query, okay, and paste it here. But this time I will select the old table, unpartitioned table. I think the table is correct. Yes. Now you see the difference. When I execute the same query from unpartitioned table, I am seeing this query will process 183 KBs of data, right? But the same query, when I execute in partition table, I am seeing just almost 3 KBs of data. Can you imagine how the partition is helpful to reduce the scanning cost up to major extent? See, these are only hardly we are having 10,000 rows, but literally in real time we may go up to 3 lakhs, 4 lakhs, or almost a million rows. So at that time you just imagine how the partition works, right? I hope this is clear. Partition data, we can see the difference, right? It is just processing almost negligible kbs here, but the same query in partition non-partition table is processing huge amount of data. That's why this is the main advantage of using partition table. And as per examination point of view, this will reduce the cost for sure. Always look at the question and understand it and see is there any partition aspect there. Okay, it's not the always, but most of the time, right? So this is how the partition aspect work. More than coding and querying, understanding the concept is very important, right? I hope this is clear, and this is now we are just going to just end this out. Any doubts, just put it in a comment, and thanks for watching, and see you in the next session very soon, guys. Have a good day. Please do understand this thoroughly. Thanks once again, very important for examination standpoint. Thanks guys. Bye bye.